as you could see, my lawn isn't looking the best coming out from winter. Actually, it looks pretty horrible. So in this video, I'm gonna discuss a little bit about why it looks like this. I have a couple of theories. I mean, I can't be 100% sure, but I have some theories. And then I'm gonna talk a little bit about what kind of solutions I have, because I have some ideas there as well. And one of those ideas is something I never ever recommend any homeowners to actually do. I really don't like to do it myself, but I think in this case it might be worth trying, but we'll get into it later on in the video. All right, so first of all, let's just have a look around the lawn and look at some of the problem areas, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about my theory why it looks like that. All right, so tag along. So the first obvious thing is my son has already played a lot of football on this with his friends. I mean, even though it's coming out of winter dormancy, everything is wet, they still play soccer on it. And I'm not going to say no. I mean, it's a lawn. You have to use it, so I don't care. So the parts over here, all in the middle, here you can see they run around with their spiked shoes. And then we have the goal over here. So everything here is kind of destroyed. I'm thinking this is contributing to how the lawn is looking, but it's not all of the problem. But him playing soccer on it is nothing I'm gonna solve by forbidding it. I mean, if you want to play soccer on it, play soccer on it. I don't care. More for me to fix, more content for you. I don't know. But yeah, that's one of the issues, but that's nothing I'm gonna do anything about. So let's move on to the other areas. All right, so this area looks pretty damn terrible. And it's so wet. I mean, we haven't had rain for a while, but it's still so wet here. My theory is partially these stone borders. They're stopping the water from being drained. And also you can see the bushes here, and we have all the trees. So when we do have sun, this area barely gets any. So it takes a long time for it to dry out. And in the front, as you can see, most of it is pretty dead. And that was the same issue last year, but not at this level. I mean, last year it greened up even more than this, but this year pretty much everything has died off. And as you can see, it's super wet still. It's just not drying up. So I'm thinking all of these stone edges I put in, they're keeping all of the water in. I do have gravel underneath it, but I don't think the surface water is getting drained through that gravel. I have a pipe for drainage at the end of the lawn, but that pipe is for water below the surface. So it's mostly from the French drains around the house. It goes to that pipe and it drains out. But for the surface water, it doesn't go through that. So I need to come up with some other way of draining the surface water. By the way, I was discussing this with another lawn YouTuber friend of mine in Sweden, and he actually pointed out that the French drains aren't French. I had no idea. I was 100% sure it was French drain, because when I translated into Swedish, I said fransk dränering, a French drain. But apparently it's invented by a guy named Henry French. So, and he's from New England, so he's not French at all. I had no idea. You learn something every day. All right, enough about that. So I need to drain it out somehow, but I am 100% sure anyone seeing this, since I have ryegrass, they're gonna say it's the ryegrass. Because as soon as someone mentions ryegrass on the forums, on the internet, I mean, people get so mad for some reason. I mean, they blame ryegrass for everything. And I do agree, maybe it's not the most suitable grass type for this cold climate we have, but you have to understand that grass needs, all types of grass, they need about a year or two to thoroughly establish. And the last 2 winters we've had have been record-breaking winters. I mean, first when I moved to Stockholm 15 years ago, we've had several years of winter where we didn't have any snow at all. Now we have 2-3 meters of snow. I mean, that's gonna make a difference. Then the grass, especially since you're sowing new grass, it doesn't have a chance to thoroughly establish. Take a look at this lawn, for instance. This is a viewer who happened to live very close by to me. So we've talked a lot, and I've helped her out with some ideas what to do and what not to do. And she sent me a picture of her lawn, and that's ryegrass. And it looks pretty good. I mean, it looks decent. You're gonna have some die off with the winters we have, no matter what grass type you have. But it looks good. Same grass as mine. but mine looks like this. So I'm pretty sure our excessive use of the lawn before it starts greening up, coming out of dormancy, playing soccer on it, and all of the surface water not being able to drain is the primary reasons for the lawn looking like this. Alright, so enough about the problems. What kind of solutions do I have? So the first thing is something I never recommend people doing, and that is I'm actually going to put sand on my lawn. I always say this when I top dress. Every year I say this. I even have a video on it if you want to see it. I usually never top dress with purely sand, because that's for golf courses and that's for special reasons. The more you top dress with sand, the more you need to take care of your lawn. And from my experience, most homeowners, they don't want the hassle. I mean, they just want an easy lawn to take care of. And if you just put on a lot of sand on it, you need to take care of it more. There's more stuff you need to do because sand is a dead material. But since I do have drainage issues, and if you have drainage issues, that's the only time I would recommend to put sand on it. But for the first time ever, I'm actually going to put more sand on my lawn. Try to alleviate some of this drainage issue, but it's only for that reason, no other reason at all. I mean, I don't care if it's a little bit bumpy. I don't need 100% flat lawn. It's flat as it is. There's some low spots here and there I try to fix every year with some top dress with sand mixed in it, but I don't need a perfectly flat lawn. I don't care. I mean, sure, it's nice when you roll over it with the mower, but I mean, it is what it is. It doesn't bother me that it's not 100% flat. And the second solution I have is I read something about vertical French drains. And there isn't much information about this. I'm not 100% sure it will work. Again, I've just read about it. I haven't tried it. I haven't seen it. But I have to experiment, you know? Why not? So I'm gonna try that out tomorrow. I've rented a drill to drill holes in the ground. I'm gonna film that and put out a completely different video about it. But those are the two solutions I have. I'm actually changing one other thing as well. On the side strip here and in the front, where I don't have as much sun and we don't have as much traffic there, I'm actually going to change the grass seeds to Kentucky bluegrass. So I talked a little bit with one of the biggest seed suppliers in Sweden, Skånefrö, and I mean the whole reason why I have ryegrass here is because we use the lawn a lot. I had a mix of creeping red fescue and Kentucky bluegrass before this, and it always thinned out so much in the middle. That's mostly where they are when they play football, and it always looked terrible. It almost looked like where I'm going with my hair. It looked so thin. But since I switched to the ryegrass during the season, they play a lot of football, we use the lawn a lot, and it never thinned out. It always looked great. So that's why I wanted the ryegrass. But then it hits me, we don't play football in the front or on the side, so I might as well try some other grass type there. But I'm not a patient guy. Kentucky bluegrass takes forever to germinate, but they said they had a Kentucky bluegrass type that germinates in 7 to 8 days, and it greens up early in the spring. It is a bit shade tolerant, it is disease tolerant. I mean, to be honest, it kind of all sounds too good to be true, but I'm not that kind of guy. I mean, I want to try it out for myself before I form an opinion. If they say it is that good, I mean, of course, let's try it. Why not? So as soon as the weather improves, I'm actually going to reseed the front with Kentucky bluegrass and the side, and then I'm going to keep going with ryegrass here and see if I can solve the drainage issues somehow. All right, now I'm just going to go inside because I'm actually freezing. It's 2 degrees Celsius right now. And during nights, we actually have -3, -2 degrees Celsius, and during the days, it's just above 0. So we've had a setback in the weather. Hopefully it gets better in the next coming weeks. So sorry for the talking video. I know I talk a lot, but at least then I got a chance to share with you my theories and my ideas. And if you have any ideas or theories why it looks like this, or if you have any solutions or ideas regarding that, just feel free to put them in the comments. I always love to read what you guys think. But if you're gonna write that it's because of ryegrass, just don't. Stop it. I don't want to hear it. I heard it enough. I'm still gonna use ryegrass here. But anything other than that, just feel free to write a comment. So again, sorry for the talking video. Hopefully tomorrow I can shoot where I do the vertical French drains. Then at least I can do something and show you guys how that works. All right, but for now, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.